Today I want to tell you why I think Harley riders are so hated, and also, is that hate justified? So no matter what side you're on, we're pitting up the community here. You got Harley riders over here and every other manufacturer, no matter what you ride, over here. And I'd love to hear from all of y'all at the end of the video. Why do you think Harley riders are hated? Is it justified? And I also want to give some counterpoints to some of these reasons as well. So if you like what I do, consider subscribing, hit your notifications so you never miss one from me. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first one you will hear in every Harley Davidson hater comment forum on the internet is gear. And all you really have to do is go to any number of rallies across the country and you'll see that for the most part, this is true. I got a buddy of mine. He wears a helmet, gloves, jacket only when it's cold, right? Any other time, no helmet, no gloves, t-shirt, jeans, tennis shoes. Even worse, sometimes you'll see guys with t-shirts, no helmet, shorts, and sandals, okay? Even some that wear half helmets, other riders look at that and say, what a squid. You know, that there's common phrases, you know, dress for the slide, not for the ride. I've heard people say, in my own circle, you know, I don't wear a helmet because it wouldn't help anyways. Or, yeah, I crashed without a helmet and I was just fine. Or even better, hey, don't crash and you don't have to worry about it. Well, okay, fair enough. At the end of the day, it's all of our personal opinions and decisions on how much risk we're willing to take. We all take more risk on inherently riding a motorcycle, but then you either add to or take away that level of risk by the amount of gear you wear. And I think it really just comes down to freedom. And, you know, some people, I believe, forget why we decide to get on a motorcycle in the first place. You can't buy a single new vehicle in the United States, nor have you been able to buy a new vehicle in the United States for a long time without airbags, without safety features. Now it's blind spot monitoring and crash detection and all this kind of stuff. But on a motorcycle, although they're adding safety features to them, you still get essentially a motor, a fairing maybe, fenders, two wheels, exhaust, right? That's it. You don't have to, you know, have airbags or, you know, any of that other stuff on there. It's just you, the machine, and the road. And so that freedom also means that people have the decision whether they want to wear gear or not. I've never understood why some riders hate others for not doing what those riders think they should do, right? That kind of takes away the whole freedom aspect of it. Now, do I wish my buddy specifically would wear more gear? Yeah, I do. Do I wish when I see, you know, motorcyclists that are wearing shorts and sandals, do I sometimes think, man, what an idiot? Yeah, it runs across my mind every once in a while. But at the end of the day, I don't petition nor care nor go on forums and say, oh my God, what an idiot, you know, this guy is. I can't even believe it. I mean, we're all on two wheels, you know, we should support each other. After, you know, bashing this this particular group of riders and then saying, hey, we're all on two wheels, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about freedom and how much risk you're willing to take, no matter if you're a Harley rider, Ducati, BMW, Buell, Indian. We all take more risk. It's how much risk you're willing to take. This one's fun, revving your motorcycle all the time. I mentioned this in a previous video. I was trying to think about the South Park episode that is, and it's South Park episode called The F Word. And so if you've never seen it, it's an older episode, but it's funny. And so you'll see Harley riders do this a lot, you know, rev up and, you know, constantly at the red light, boom, 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 you know, I mean, just a lot. And I mean, honestly, it sounds good. And so, you know, it's kind of hard to hate on. And, you know, if it gets annoying to some people, I guess I understand. But it's kind of the same way with sport bike riders or other riders. When you see them, you know, going 80 miles an hour down a 45 or weaving in and out of traffic, you know, that can also be seen as annoying. We all do it. Every single one of us. It is not exclusive to Harley riders, but for some reason, people think it's exclusively a Harley Davidson thing to rev up your motor. I'll be honest with you, it could be a little bit of jealousy because Harleys just sound incredible with good exhaust on them. But if we're really being honest with everybody here, we all do it at some point, some more than others, but that's just the way it goes. Just enjoy it. Enjoy that beautiful sound, because I'd much rather hear that than a squatted truck with cat deletes going down the road. So you have that option as well. Next thing we'll talk about, Harley riders don't wave. Yeah, I was riding my KTM and I passed this guy and, gave him the wave and he didn't even acknowledge me. Now, I see it as a sign of respect to somebody else that is in the community. So no matter if they're on another Harley, an Indian, it doesn't really matter to me what they're on, besides mopeds. I typically don't wave to mopeds or bicyclists, right? But anybody else, I will typically wave to. Now, have I always had that wave reciprocated? No. But at the same time, maybe they're pulling in their clutch to change gears. Maybe they have something going on in front of them that you don't see. Or maybe they just don't want to acknowledge you. I mean, who knows? There's no written rule that says you have to wave to every other motorcyclist out there. Now, it's kind of funny. When you are outside of a rally, just riding around town or whatever, most people are going to wave. And I find that to be true with pretty much any other motorcyclist. Actually, I find it kind of funny because sometimes I'll pass a sport bike rider and it almost looks like they hesitate in the wave until I put that down first, and then they're like, oh, okay, this Harley rider is going to wave to me. So it's kind of funny. But when you go to a rally, nobody waves. So I remember the first rally I ever went to, I noticed that, these bikers that were around the rally and stuff, I'd wave. Nobody was waving back, and then I just kind of caught on, okay, this is going to get excessive, and you would never have your hand up on the left handlebar if you were to wave at everybody at a rally, right? So there's a time and place, and it's also doesn't mean it's malicious. Like I said, they could have things going on, and some people just don't want to acknowledge other motorcyclists. You know what you do? You keep riding and enjoy your day. I don't understand how you could hate somebody for not waving back to you. It's not a requirement. Yes, it is a sign of mutual respect that we're around all of these crazy riders on their phones and doing all kinds of things, not paying attention to the road mainly, and we are one of few when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, it's not a requirement. Next thing we'll talk about, Harley riders spend more time polishing than they do riding. This is a blanket statement that could not be any further from the truth. Now, it is true that there are some riders that actually do this, but that's not the case for all of us. Now, it's kind of funny because when I talk about one of my friends that rides a Road Glide Limited, right? Y'all have seen his bike on the channel before. Y'all have seen him on the channel before. We stayed up in Tennessee. He has a place in Tennessee, right? And we stayed up there. We had the bikes up there, whatever. When I would wake up in the morning, I grab my Monster and, I'm just hanging out and kind of getting myself prepared for the day. When he wakes up, he's out there polishing every little surface on the bike. Oh man, I need to take these bags off and I need to do this and that and blah, blah, blah. And my bike is as dirty as it can be. And I'm like, dude, hey, you ready to go? So, it really just depends on who you are. There are people, obviously, that, just like to clean their motorcycles. They like it to be clean. Before they go anywhere, it has to be clean. And then there's other people like me that it kind of shows a sign that, hey man, I ride my motorcycle. I really don't care that much that people see I have a dirty bike. If anything, it's a sign of pride in a way to me. But again, there's a lot of chrome. There's a lot of surfaces on every motorcycle, but especially Harleys, and they are really hard to keep clean. And some people just like to clean them more than others. Last thing we'll talk about is something I definitely agree. The biker bar culture. Now, I say this with a ton of respect, right? But fortunately with motorcycles, it's not like getting behind the wheel of a large F-150 or F-250 or any kind of car that's essentially a moving missile, where you can really hurt and maim other people by the decisions you make, especially being intoxicated behind the wheel. If a motorcycle hits you, you're going to feel it, but in a lot of cases, I would say it wouldn't be as detrimental. So I hope y'all see where I'm going here. I'm not making an excuse for it, but it obviously would be more detrimental to the actual rider than most other people around. And that's kind of generalizing. There's obviously situations where that would be bad. And it's a bad decision either way. And I'm just not a fan of it, and I'm not a drinker either. That's not something that I do. If we go, and we've been to biker bars and other places, and I'm like over there drinking sweet tea or water, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't drink like that. I don't enjoy it. I'll still go to those places, and I have no problem being at those places. It doesn't bug me one bit that I'm not drinking and, everybody else is. But I think at the end of the day, it's like anything, man. Especially on a motorcycle, all of your senses have to be there, dude. It takes more skill than to just get behind the wheel, and you have to be cognitive of everything going on if you want to keep yourself safe. It's unfortunate. I don't know what else we can do as a society to help steer people away from drinking and driving, but it is a reality that people will get behind the wheel and behind the handlebars intoxicated, and I hate it. I can't stand it. And so, yeah, biker bar culture is a thing, and it is definitely a thing with Harley riders too. So at the end of the day, I hope what you gather from this video, and what my opinion is anyways, is that these are a lot of generalizations about Harley riders. I'm a Harley rider, and a lot of these things I don't fit into. Some of them I do. But at the end of the day, we are all on two wheels, and I have mad respect for everybody that decides to ride a motorcycle and takes their freedom into their own hands by making that decision. I'd love to hear your opinions down below. What do you think about this particular topic, no matter what side you're on? If you like this video, maybe you'll like one of these other ones that I've done here recently. Big thanks to you guys. See you in the next one. And as always, holding down.